Well, while I'm waiting for my correct pulley to come for the drive system, what I want to do is obviously clean this deck up. And this smells, this musty grass. I wish they'd make a cover shield for all this, but we did a couple lawns that were, I don't know if you call them a seasonal house or not, but they don't mow it regularly, that's for sure. Actually, they don't mow it at all. And they asked us to, and you know, there's a lot of dirt. Look at the dirt in this grass. It's just a mess. And I used the baggers, and you still get a lot of debris blowing around. But I want to get this out. Then I'm going to take this deck. I might pressure wash or just hose it out. Depends how much junk I can get out of here. I might bring out the shop vac because this is going to be a mess in the driveway. But right now, it rained on it the other night. Now it's wet. I should have done it when it was drier. But I want to do this. I want to flip the deck over. And I want to sharpen the blades. Perfect time for that. I want to check everything out over here. Check all these pulleys. These are fine. And then these spindles we replaced a couple years ago. So I think we're good on that. But the blades, we're up here in rock country, so I hit a few. You can see the sparks coming out, you know. So I'm going to sharpen the blades, and if they're no good, I'm going to replace them. I have another used set that I sharpened. I flipped the deck over and I pressure washed the bottom. Took the blades off. They're not too great a shape, I'll show you, but came up with a problem. You see these 4 bolts? Now, I put new spindles in it, I don't know, a couple years ago. And when I put the bolt in, it, what should I say, it didn't tighten up. And so I put a nut on it. Well, that was fine. But look at this one's broken. This one's missing, I think. No, it's backed out. See that? So it's kind of, looks like we're going to have to drill them out and put bolts in them. And then next time when I get new spindles, hopefully they'll come with new bolts. I used a vacuum cleaner, and it's a 16-gallon over there. And I sucked all this junk off. I got a half a barrel. I took the shield off both sides of the belt, because that, you can't clean it when it's on the machine, because you can't, that guard is all the way around here. There's holes in the bottom, and it lets water back down under, I believe, but that lets a lot of debris up on the deck, and I think something ought to be changed there sometime. But yeah, we gotta get them bolts out, probably take that whole spindle off, and then drill them out and put a bolt in, like a 5/16 by 2 or whatever bolt. And I got the blades over here, and they're not perfect by far. I might be able to get a little more use out of them. What I like to do is set them down to see if they're flat. They're relatively flat. In the front here has a bend in it, and that's probably the one, I think it's the one that came off that spindle. And what happened is I think it probably hit the ground. So if you're looking down this way, this is not flat anymore. So I don't even know if I'm going to sharpen them. I might just throw them aside. And then these are the used ones. I set them on top of each other, and they're exactly true. These are good blades, and these are not as high lift, so these probably won't do as good bagging, but it's summertime, so I just want to mow. So I'll probably be picking up bagging blades. It's got a higher lift on it, like this thing. And the other thing you look at is, you see this crack starting? It's cracked a little bit there, and this one is cracked way in there. Once it gets in so far, it just flies out. So we're gonna probably scrap them, and I'm just gonna sharpen them with a grinder. just some kind of edge back on it, you know. On the back side, I just flatten it out, see if there's any kind of stone burrs or anything, you know. We're up here in stone country. And then I'll sharpen the front side. Try not to overheat it. I'll put it on time lapse, but like I said, on the back side, I just want it flat. Make sure there's like no stone burrs. There are a couple nicks in it from a stone, but this is approximately a heavy 1/4 inch, probably 5/16, and I just want to follow that without overheating it. This is pretty sharp right up to this outer edge, so this shouldn't take too much. What a project, as you saw, guys. What happened was this bolt, the thread stripped out on it and pulled out of there. So I got another bolt that was longer, put it in there, and it made its own threads all the way up. And that tightened down, drew this whole spindle tight to the deck. This one was pretty tight. That one was tight, but there was a gap, I would say 3/16 between these two, and the spindle wobbled. Now it can't wobble. The problem bolt, I welded a few nuts on there. It looks like at least 4, just like an exhaust manifold, but it didn't work. It a sliver here, metal sliver. It didn't work, so I drilled out the bolt. These Milwaukee bits are nice. They're called Shockwave titanium. I always worry about wobbling and breaking them. You do that once in a while. But there, got that guy out. And I put a bolt, a 5/16 bolt with a nut, lock nut, and a washer. And then this one I tightened down. It sucked it right up nice and tight. And I am super happy. So now we got, let's see here. We check out our, got a little bit of anti-seize on there. But keep these lubed so they'll come off next time. I want to put these blades on. See the silver anti-seize? Probably should go get more, but I'm getting lazy. I want to get this project going. Our pulley still isn't here. Hopefully it's coming today so that I can put these on. I got 2 pulleys. I might put one on. What I wanted to you know, be sure of is make sure that the bolt's not too long by hitting the blade. Let's see, it might. No, it clears. So we're good shape with that. Make sure your cut edge is up. Told you I got a free lawnmower that because of that once. A Cub Cadet self-propelled. Homeowner said it has no power, and he went and bought a new one. Asked me to mow his lawn. I mowed it. And he says, that mower didn't work. He said, it has no power. You want to take that with you? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you can have it. And I said, all right, I'll take it home, monkey with it. And I took it home. The blade was on upside down. So the fat part of the blade can't cut the grass as good. So it was bogging right down. And he did the self-propelled, so he's going into it too fast, you know. And so that's all that was. That worked out pretty nice. The blade looked like new on it. I had that a while, and I didn't care for it. I got rid of it, but somebody used it. All right, what gun are we going to use here? We're going to use the new 3/8. I'm going to put it on 3. Make sure this is bottomed out. These blades get tighter when they spin. So a lot of people worry they're going to come loose, but the direction of spin makes them tighter. Now, what I like to do to see if it's straight is I put an object there or a mark, and then I'll bring it around, and it should touch the same mark. And it don't. See how close it is here. I got my hand in the way. Just get an object that, look at this bolt's loose. We'll see about tightening that up. Let's see how off it is. And it's off by 1/8 of an inch. And it's flat against the spindle. There's no play. The spindle's tight against the deck on this side. This one, I'll pick something like that. It touches, it's good. And there's a break on the other side on this blade. I'm happy. We're done underneath. So I'll tighten up the bolt on this second shield part here. The upper one's good. So when we lay it down, that's a carriage head. Hopefully that'll tighten up. And then maybe we'll go ahead and put a couple of them pulleys on and wait for the other one. I made me a blueberry smoothie. It's fresh blueberries. They were getting a little soft. And we had a few left. And then yogurt and orange juice. Pretty good. And you could also put in, you know, little spinach leaves and vanilla and things like that. But that's pretty good. It's a good way to use up old berries. I don't want to waste them. And we got some strawberries. We're going to try strawberry smoothies. Strawberry season. We got a bogey wheel here that's damaged. See that? I don't have any more, I don't think. Well, maybe I do. Let me check. I got one on the shelf. I don't know if it's the right one. It looks wider. It looks different. It's hammered up pretty good too. And it looks bigger. It's a little taller. It might have been that size to begin with, but you know, you go across the pavement and it scrubs it down, and it looks like I caught it on something. I don't know if I should put it on. The other one's damaged here too. Probably not, because I better get two the same size. I'll ask around who's got a used mower deck I can have some parts off. If not, these can't be too much money. There's actually a part number on it, so I can look it up anyway. That just keeps your deck level, you know. So we are in business. I'm going to move on. We'll tighten up that carriage bolt and we'll get on to them pulleys. Well, like I said, the parts aren't in. I tightened that carriage bolt up. So I might as well put some of this stuff together. So we can set the battery back in there. It's going to make it a little bit darker under there to do the pulleys, but I should be able to see it. Now I gotta find the battery. Where'd I put it? And then can't read the data on this battery anymore. It's a U1 230 cold cranking amp. And I don't know if I can turn it backwards in here. And that way the cables won't be crossed. They'll just be longer, you know. I don't think you have to worry too much about them. We'll hook the positive up first. Keep the sparkies down. And then probably 7/16, right? Get it snug as a bug in a rug. Put our protector. No ground screw, so I gotta look in the parts bucket, see if we got our battery cable bolt. I misplaced it somewhere, but I got another one. This is a garage door track bolt. That should work fine, right? Work through the battery fine. And it's the same size, it's just the head of the bolt is a screw. Fine. Fine. Right? The sun comes out, it's hot, it goes back in all day here. I don't like my bald head burning, you know. Alright, so now we can fire it up, Taro. Fire it up, fire it up. It won't go anywhere, but we can start it. Now, what we'll do is we'll put a couple of the pulleys on. Okay, what we got. Let's see if I can remember how we did this, right? This pulley is a rear one. Hear how loud that is? And there's no, I don't know, I probably could try to pop something off here if it has a cap. But I bought a new one. And it's supposed to come today. So the noisy one is not here yet. The difference is this depth. I don't know why they're different sizes. This one makes no noise. This one is kind of loud, and the belt scrubbed across it. So this stalled at one point, and the belt was just pulling on that. So burning it. So I got a new one of these. Let's see what we got here. So we'll put the one that we know is good back in there, which is this match. This is the middle one. No, I'm wrong. This is the front one. This is the idler. This one here. I'll put that in there so we don't mix up part numbers. And then this one makes a little bit of noise. Is that one. Totally quiet. And if you look close, there is a place to pop that seal off and grease it. So I might do that with that and keep it for a spare. Might fit the other tractor too. But for the price of these, I might as well get them and get this over with, because we put a new dry belt on. I didn't want to monkey with it and burn up another belt. So let's see if I left the bolts under there. I can't remember. I was doing 2 or 3 different projects. I put the nuts back on. All of them. Okay, good. So the only thing we can't do is put the rear one on, but we can put this one on, and then this front one. So there's just a stud sticking down. This goes over and you tighten the nut up. Loop the belt back on. So I'll show you when I'm done, because I won't be able to hold this. All right, Dawson helped me. We had a heck of a time. You see this front pulley, this idler? This long bolt is your pivot. Press that brake down, Dawson. You see all, let me move back. Okay, do it back and forth a few times. See how much movement that goes on there? Quite a bit. That's your belt tensioner. And that long bolt, that's good. That long bolt goes up through the top, behind the engine, and underneath this red shell of a body, and up above the black shell of a frame. You can't get to that bolt. And it's a carriage bolt, and it, what do you call it, Dawson? Instead of square, it's like round. It wants to turn. We could not get to the bolt. You can't even see it. You have to tear this frame, the body off the frame to get to that bolt. That's the stupidest thing. So what I did is I took the little MIG welder and I welded the bolt to the frame. And then that allowed us to put the pulley on and then tighten up the lock nut. And then we got our new flat pulley here. We got our new V pulley here. And then this pulley was the noisy one. And we just put it back on to test it because I want to test the fan that we put on back there, the belt, and the way this guides. So if you want to fire it up, Dawson, and then just let the clutch out, and we'll watch things move here. I didn't even hear it, do you? So much quieter now, isn't it? Speed the engine up just a little. Wide open. All right. Check it out, guys. So when this pulley comes, it says it's coming tomorrow now. But when it comes, we're going to put that on. We'll slide the deck on, put them pins back in, and we're raring to go. I think this is going to be a fix, so I'm quite happy with that. I'll see you again tomorrow. All right, this is the last pulley that we've been waiting for. And come up close here, you can listen to this. If I do it right. Get my arm off this. Can you hear that? Now, that echoes, vibrates through the... That one don't make much noise. The front idler, the flat one that burnt a hole in it. Hear how dry that is? Okay, so our new one came. Here's our old fan. Pretty nice, huh? What I think happened, guys, this is what I think. That looks like a belt rub. I think that the pulley started to seize up and jump the belt because the pulley was tilting, right, Dawson? Remember that was tilting? Yeah. This pulley was up there like that, and it was tilted, and I think it was, let's see, one way or the other. I think forward would lifting that belt up and getting stuck under the fan, and that's what chewed that fan off. Yep. And what burnt the fan up, and then it burnt that pulley. So started to grind. Yeah. So this is from Timbuktu, Kumar Brothers USA. Amazing. This is gonna last forever. Wow. I went on the Amazon and they didn't show a 3-pack like I wanted, so I kind of clicked the button twice. There we go. See the deep one? Here's our V. There's the deep, and our pulley is, where'd I put it? Where'd I put it, Dawson? You see it? I'm hiding it. Right here. This one's upside down. See the depth? We have to have that length. There it is. Exact. Amazing. So nice. Let's put this on. Let's listen to this. What's how quiet it is. Shh. No noise. Perfect. So we're going to put this together. You go down there, and I'll put it up on there. And this should be relatively simple. Sure. So put that up there. Yeah, that fits. Nice. If you look closely, see how this is like level and this is tilted? I'm wondering if some of these brackets aren't bent a little bit. So that's pretty hard to do. We just put that on there. There's my new gun I bought. That don't look like it's up there all the way, does it? No. All right, let's see. It is. Is it? Yeah. Bottomed out up here. So that's a lock nut, so that should be fine. And then here's our belt guard. Uh-oh. I tightened that up at the same time, right? Did I? Maybe that's the problem. This is supposed to fit. There we go. And then that keeps the belt on there, supposedly. I think it's got to be turned slightly, so I'll show you in a minute. All right, I'm going to fire it up. Dawson's going to shine the camera underneath there and watch these pulleys, and we're going to listen for any noise. If you remember the beginning of the video there, the noise. Uh-oh. Yeah. Before it was so loud it sounded like something was falling apart. Now we're going to slip the deck under, throw the pins in, throw the front belt on, and we're rearing to go. Alright guys, what we did here is this, we took them plastic shields off because if you remember in the beginning of the video there, I had like 4 inches of full of grass and I didn't see that those bolts had, one had sheared off and one had broken, backed out. And so I put bolts in, put a nut on it, and the other one I threaded the bolt in better after I got it out. Then I decided to leave them off because you'll never put your feet under there. The other mower don't have one. And then that left this cable that turns the mower on out flopping around. So we found that little clip off the rocker panel of the truck when we did rocker panels, and that's gonna work great to hold that thing there. So let's fire it up, Harold, and listen to it, see if everything operates now. We're gonna let it just idle here. Isn't that a lot quieter, Dawson?
Yeah.
Pretty happy with that now because it's so noisy. Now I'm going to put the blades on, and I'm going to do it at idle. You know what that is, guys? That's this belt cover. Look at right here. That's touching right there. So we got, when I tighten that bolt up, it pulled this in. I could tell that sound right away. So we're gonna bend these out just a little bit. We'll be back. I think I'll just do this. It just helps hold the belt on, you know. See, now I got
a little 1/8 inch gap.
1/8 inch, and this is nothing. So look at this. That used to be so noisy. Look closely right here. Look at that groove in it. It was rubbing on the pulley. You know why? Because it had all that grass and junk in there, and you can never see with that shield on here. And that was hitting for a long time, probably because, remember, that spindle had tilted down. And I noticed when I dropped the mower deck down, and I'm mowing like, say, a 3 or less, just to do a nice finish job on a flat lawn, that it would like scalp one edge in the center. And I figured that was down like that, or the blade was bent. And but now that we got new blades on there, new to us, and we sharpened them, and now that noise should go away, and it should help keep that belt on there. So let's try that another time here and see what that sounds like. see how it still spin? Is it has brake pads. See them under here? Somewhere, when you release this, I don't know if they're missing on this. Right here, right there. See this brake pad? That touches the spindle, and it's supposed to stop that spinning. And it looks like that's pretty much wore out, isn't it? See the pad up here? And then right down at the spindle. I bet you know what happened is that turned down. That hit that too. It did, didn't it? So I'll probably have to look for a little break. But what you got to remember, guys, is, and Dawson, when he was little, I always worry. You always worry about children. And on my original key tag, it says, "Watch out for children," shows a child on it. I heard a horror story where a guy backed up with his lawnmower and ran over like a, I don't know, 1.5-year-old child and chopped him up pretty good. He lived, but oh, that's just scary. And I always tell somebody when they come up beside me is assume them blades are spinning, because you never know. I have to get a brake pad for that because this one is still spinning. It'll stop, but it'll take a little bit. And then over here on this side, check this out. This one should have one also. And that's just about touching. Let's see if this works. By you come over here when I fire.
Dad. Here's some logs we got today. We've been working all day, so we're both kind of tired. Dad's got to stay hydrated during the day. He gets a lot of cramps. But anyways, we got some pine and some silver maple we cut down. We're going back tomorrow. We're gonna probably do a video on that. It'll be on his channel. But we got the chipper and we got the splitter, so we're gonna do a pretty good job. It's a lot of work, and he's got the brew out. It's nice after a long hot day. Crack a cold one, you know. I obviously don't drink, but you know, I drink a nice tea and that's refreshing, or a soda. But it sounds like it's working a lot better. I tried it, and when I tried it, it was squeaking like crazy. Them belts and the pulley and the fan. But it sounds like a fix. Let's see.
Thank you for watching, guys. This side stopped. Well, they both stopped pretty quick that time, but it probably needs those little pads, you know.
Yep.
You see our loaded logs over there we just unloaded?
Yep.
We just got to go get cleaned up, and we got another day of cutting wood. Follow along with the channel, you see the job we're working on. Thanks for watching. Thank Dawson for some help. We got us 2 new tractors at work.
Yep, Craftsman's back in business.